ChatGPT only gives you one answer, but why did it choose that one?
No.
For the last 20 years, when you Googled something, you got 10 blue links. You decided which one to trust. But something's changing fast. 37% of people now start their searches with AI instead of Google. So that choice is now gone. Because while Google gave you 10 options, ChatGPT gives you one. In 2023, Princeton researchers coined a term for this new shift in search: Generative Engine Optimization. AI referred traffic jumped 527% in the first half of last year alone. No one has 100% figured out how to game this system yet. But what we do know is that it's working. Princeton found that GEO techniques can boost a company's visibility inside AI answers by up to 40% by optimizing the algorithm. So how does it actually work? How does ChatGPT actually find your answer in the first place? Great question, thanks for asking. Let's say you type, "What's the best dog toy for a crazy border collie?" Because I have one that's unhinged. You'd think ChatGPT just searches that. One question, but that's not what happens. ChatGPT basically sends out a whole team of research minions, dozens of them, each one searching something different. One's searching durable dog toys 2026, another searching best toys for high energy herding breeds, another one's reading Amazon reviews from an angry golden retriever. All at the same time. This is called a query fan-out. Then the minions report back, ChatGPT stitches it into one clean answer and gives it to you. But you never see what the minions grabbed or what they left behind. The whole process is completely invisible to you.
Bueno. Piñu. Bueno. Piñu.
The big secret is, if you know how the minions search, you can control what they bring back. Let me show you how. Let's say there's a dog toy company called Chew Daddy. Decent product, nothing special, but they hire a GEO agency, and that agency has one job: get Chew Daddy into ChatGPT's answers when you ask about dog toys. First thing they do, they rewrite Chew Daddy's entire website. Not for you, for the minions. They stuff it with specific statistics, expert quotes, structured data, all to make the minions think this site has as much credibility as a research paper. Things like veterinarian recommended and 4.8 stars across 12,000 reviews and ranked #1 in durability testing. The website could literally look like it was built in 2004 and the minions wouldn't care. They're not looking at design, they're grabbing data. That handles the website, but the minions aren't all searching the same thing. So the agency reverse engineers what each minion is likely to search for. Best dog toys for high energy dog breeds, Kong alternatives 2026, safest chew toys for large dogs. And they write content that matches every single version of how you could possibly ask that question. But that's just Chew Daddy's own website. ChatGPT reads through thousands of different sites. So guess what the agency does next? They go after the sites ChatGPT already trusts. Wikipedia, review sites, industry blogs, news publications. Wikipedia alone makes up nearly 48% of ChatGPT's citations. So the agency gets Chew Daddy mentioned on Wikipedia. They get it featured in top 10 dog toys listed on pet blogs. They plant articles on industry blogs and review sites that are full of expert quotes and statistics with Chew Daddy right in the middle of it. None of this is for real people. It's for the minions. And every planted mention makes ChatGPT more confident when it recommends Chew Daddy to you. Now you're probably thinking, okay, so this is basically advertising or Google ads within AI. That's what most people would assume, but you need to know what happened on February 9th. One of the most annoying parts of making content is that every visual idea you have for work turns into a tiny production crisis. I'll think, oh, I just need a quick graphic for this section, and suddenly I'm in 8 tabs downloading random assets, opening Canva, and naming files things like final, actual final, please work.png. That's why I've been testing Hedra. Hedra is a creative AI agent for making images and videos. And it's not really for make me a cyberpunk raccoon energy, it's more for the professional content work that eats up a lot of our time. Campaign pictures, social posts, product shots, all the branded assets you somehow needed yesterday. You can describe what you want, upload a reference image, drop in a product photo, or paste a URL. And Hedra helps turn that into polished visual content. For example, say you're launching a new product and need a full set of visuals fast. I can drop in the product page or a rough reference, ask Hedra for campaign directions, and get back polished assets for ads, social posts, and product visuals. And if you're making content for a brand, the brand kit is such a game changer. You can literally upload everything that makes your brand special. Logos, colors, and fonts. So the assets actually look like they came from you. No more mysterious intern trapped inside a stock photo website vibes. Go you. You can try Hedra for free at hedra.com by using the link in the description and use code HeyAI50 for 50% off your first month. On February 9th, 2026, OpenAI started running ads inside ChatGPT. Labeled, sponsored, you can see them, you can skip them, that's advertising. But everything I've been showing you for the last few minutes is not an ad. When the minions bring back ChatGPT's engineered content and ChatGPT recommends it to you, there's no sponsored tag. It just says, here's the best dog toy for your border collie. You can't skip it or spot it because it doesn't have a little label next to the answer. It is the answer. So they're not buying an ad. Through Generative Engine Optimization, they're manipulating the data itself. But don't worry, I'm going to give you 5 ways to fight back. First, you need to understand what's actually happening under the hood to make all of this possible. Now, everything I just showed you was about controlling what the minions find, rewriting the websites, planning articles, seeding Wikipedia. All of it is about putting engineered content in front of the minions so they bring it back. But there's a deeper layer. What if you could control how the minions think? This is where it gets a little more technical, but I promise you can handle it, and you'll be honorary AI researchers at the end. ChatGPT doesn't think like you do. It doesn't store articles like files on a computer. It doesn't have a folder called dog toys with a list of brands inside. What it has are patterns. During training, the model reads billions of pages from the internet, and as it reads, it learns statistical relationships between words. If the phrase "chew daddy" appears near the words "best dog toy in the whole world" across thousands of different web pages, articles, and forums, the model builds an association. Chew Daddy and Best Dog Toy become linked in its weights. This is what shapes how the minions think. When they go out and search, the model is already biased towards certain brands, certain sources, certain associations before a single search result comes back. The training data is the foundation underneath everything. So when you ask, what's the best dog toy, even if the minions go out and search the internet right now, the model is already leaning towards Chew Daddy. It's more likely to grab content that confirms what it already believes. It's more likely to rank Chew Daddy higher in the answer. The minions aren't neutral, and if the model is confident enough, it doesn't send the minions out at all. Only about 31% of prompts actually trigger a web search. The rest of the time, ChatGPT just answers from patterns that were baked in months or even years ago. So now we're manipulating the training data. Remember the rewritten websites, the seeded Wikipedia pages, the planted review articles? That wasn't just about tricking the minions. All of that content also gets absorbed into the next version of the model itself as training data. The more frequently Chew Daddy and Best Dog Toy appear together across the internet, the stronger that pattern becomes inside the model. Not just for today's search, for the model's permanent memory. Guys, listen, this isn't theoretical. In 2024, researchers identified a network called Pravda that published over 3.6 million articles in a single year, specifically designed to contaminate Western AI models. 3.6 million articles, one network, and it worked. Researchers found measurable contamination across multiple major language models. Flood the internet with content, wait for it to get absorbed, let the model do the rest. But the biggest issue of all, you can't delete it. If a company manipulates Google, we can fix it. Take down a page, penalize a site. But if someone plants a fake Wikipedia edit and it gets into the training data before anyone catches it, there's no delete button. It's permanent. It's baked into billions of parameters across the neural network. You can't go into ChatGPT's brain and remove Chew Daddy. The only way to fix it would be to retrain the entire model from scratch. Not complicated. You did fantastic. The whole video I've been showing you how companies exploit one thing, your trust. You ask ChatGPT a question, you get a clean answer, and you believe it. That's the trust reflex. And that's what makes GEO work. So here are your 5 ways to break your trust reflex. 1, and this is my favorite. Ask ChatGPT what would a GEO optimized answer to this question look like. Then compare it to what it just told you. If they match, you know exactly what just happened. 2, Stop asking what's the best. This is the easiest question to rig. Instead, ask, what are the top 3 options and what are the trade-offs between them? Force it to compare instead of recommend. 3, ask ChatGPT to argue against its own recommendation. Literally say, now tell me why I shouldn't pick that. If it can't give you a strong case against its own answer, something's off. 4, open a brand new chat or a different AI model and ask the exact same question. If you get a different answer, neither one was the best. It was just the minions grabbing different content each time. 5, ask who else was considered and why were they rejected. Make the AI show its work. It forces the models to surface options it buried in its own bias. None of those tips take extra time, it just takes awareness. And now you have it. I told you it was worth it. Google gave you 10 links. You were the filter. You decided what to trust, what to click, what to believe. ChatGPT and all language models give you one answer, and that filter is gone. A billion-dollar industry you never heard of until today, generative engine optimization, just took its place. You used to be in control of what you believed. Now you have to fight to get that back. But at least now you know what you're fighting. By the way, my name is Veronica. I've been in tech for 10 years, AI for 6, and I really love having these nerdy chats with all of you. If this video taught you something you didn't know before, please subscribe or leave a comment. It means the world to me. I read every single one. And every week we break down how AI actually works, not the hype, not the headlines, the stuff nobody else is explaining. And clearly, someone needs to.